So today I'm going to be cleaning up this wheel bearing cabinet. As you can see, it's got some issues. It's got some paint, which I'm not sure will come off or not, but I'm going to try. Some painted phone numbers and such on it, here and here, and a couple little spatters of paint, some pencil marks, some of which I've already removed, and I'll show you how I did that, and some more pencil marks, some grease as well for grunge of some kind. It's not greasy at all, it's dry, which is good and bad. If I'd prefer if it was still greasy, that would wipe off, but we're going to have to do something about it. Got a little bit of grunge here of some kind, some glue or something. So, and it's just generally dirty. So we're going to give it a clean. So I'll show you how I'm going to do that. Alright, just using a artist's eraser. These white erasers. You can use an artist gum eraser, those kind of honey colored or beige square erasers as well. Should literally erase the pencil marks. As you can see, working fairly well. And you're going to have to stop to clean the eraser once in a while. Just peel the grunge off of it. And yeah, so it cleans it up. I'm going to see if it'll take off this marker as well, right here. Cross your fingers. Oh, look at that. Taking the marker off. Not too bad. Considering that marker usually embeds itself in the paint, that's doing pretty good. Not perfect, but you can see it's cleaning it. Get some of that grunge off. Oh, look at that. Well, wonders never cease. So anyway, that's effective. Just a, like I said, this pencil eraser. This is some pen. It's not pencil. Hopefully it'll take it off. Look at that. Took it off. Okay, that's cool. So yeah, it looks like it's taken it off. Once we give it a wash, we may have to do that a little bit more, but we'll see. And there's a number written on above BCA here. There we go. Cleaning it up. Look at that. All right. Yeah, so we got those off, basically. So that was good. That was a lot easier than I expected. So let's see. Would we be really lucky? Will this take the paint off? Let's see. No, I don't think so. I don't think we're going to be that lucky, folks. Although, oh, look at that. Look at that. It's taking it off. And that's paint. So yeah, it's just rubbing it off. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that great? Unbelievable. It's erasing it. So yeah, it appears to be a paint, one of those paint markers or maybe lumber markers, something like that. So maybe that's why it's coming off. But look at that. That's great. Took it right off. Wow. Okay. Let's see. Will it still take it off? Of course, my hand's getting a little sore from this because you've got to rub and grip the eraser at the same time, of course. But you can see it's coming off. Okay, I'm going to work at this a little bit more and we'll see how it goes. I'm actually just going to try just now. I'm going to try this paint as well. There's a little bit here. We'll try it. Are we going to get lucky? You think it'll take it off? Are we going to be that lucky? Doesn't look like it. I don't think we're going to get that lucky. No. Okay, well, it takes off everything except for paint. Like I said, this might be a grease marker of some kind or lumber marker, so that's maybe why it's coming off. It does look like one of those paint pens though, really. So it may take it off all right, taking some kinds of paint off. So we'll just keep trying, and I'll show you the results after I get all of this stuff off. So I was just experimenting with a few other erasers. I did try the Artist's Gum Eraser and these honey colored ones. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. So these are out. These aren't going to work. I tried a kind of a cheapy plastic pink eraser. Doesn't work. So these are the types of erasers you want. They're a vinyl eraser, a white pearl or vinyl eraser. So yeah, that's the type that works. So try it. Don't bother with the Artist Gum Eraser. They're good for cleaning other things, but unfortunately this didn't work out. But yeah, try the vinyl eraser. That's the best. That works well. Okay, we're going to continue cleaning. I should mention that you don't have to actually press that hard even. It's just a matter of repetitive motion. You'll want to vary your motion as well from straight to circular and such, and also keeping it clean, so rubbing the excess grunge off of it as well, and eventually it'll go away. So yeah. Anyway, I'll keep cleaning and then I'll show you the final result with the eraser, and we'll see what else we can do to clean the cabinet. Okay, so we've got all the stuff taken off now with the eraser. So there's still a residue which does wipe off, but it doesn't wipe off easily. It's still kind of tacky and sticky. So what I did with the other one, as you can see, it's nice and clean. I just used a little bit of lighter fluid to take that off. So we're going to show you how to do that, or how it works. It's pretty easy. Just a bit of lighter fluid on Kleenex or a rag preferably. I'm just using a bit of toilet paper actually, but it comes right off. Then you can see if there's any residue. There's still some there that I can take off with the eraser, so I'll probably still do that. But anyway, it cleans off that residue very easily. It's gone. So yeah, and it cleans it a bit too. So yeah, so on to cleaning the rest of it. We're going to give it a shot of Windex to see what that'll do. But I don't recommend Windex if the paint is oxidized. If it's been exposed to sunlight and is dull, Windex will definitely take some of the paint with it. Not with you. Anyway, it'll take some of the paint with it. So be careful using Windex. But in this particular case, I'm pretty confident that Windex will clean it up a bit. I don't know how much. I'm not sure it'll take this stuff off, whatever this is. It appears to be could be just grunge from being opened or something. I'm not sure. We'll see. And it definitely won't take off this glue. This might have to be picked off with a knife or something. We'll see. Alright, going to give it a shot here of Windex. I'm going to test it on just a corner, first of all, just in case. But I'm pretty confident that it's not going to harm it. But, like I said, you never know. And it looks like it'll clean up some of this black stuff, whatever it is. It's not doing anything to this corner though. It appears to be adhered, but it is cleaning up some of the regular grunge. And this won't be the final cleaning either. Even if it cleans up quite well, there's still some polishing and stuff to do. But anyway, so it looks like Windex is going to be okay. I'm just going to do sections rather than letting it sit, because you do risk it potentially damaging it. Oh, there's some of that grunge from the eraser, actually, so the Windex will take that off too, it seems. So yeah, see, it's cleaning up not too bad. Still got some scuffs and scratches that, like I said, we'll deal with and maybe polish off. But you can see it's cleaning up fairly well. So yeah, so there, it's cleaning up fairly well. We'll finish the rest off camera so I don't waste your time. Alright, so that's what it looks like now after giving it a clean with Windex. I've just done the front, I haven't done the sides. You'll notice I've taken the knob off just to make it easier to clean around, so I can just go over top. I don't have to work around the knob. It'll go back on quite easily. Just a single bolt. And this grunge here and bit here and here is not grunge, it's rust. So once it dries a bit, it's still a little damp from the Windex, it's not quite drying yet. What I'm going to do is attack it with some Simichrome polish. So we're going to minimize the rust where it's crawled out kind of over top of the paint. So if we can minimize it, at least it'll look a little better. It won't look so much like a bad stain. It'll still be there though. And when you've got some rust happening and you use Windex, you may also end up taking some of that paint off. So be careful of that. But in this case it didn't. But we're going to end up using some Simichrome polish to remove some of that surface rust. So I'm just going to let it dry and then we'll attack it with some Simichrome. Alright, so let it dry a bit. It's basically dry. No more Windex there. All evaporated off. So I'm going to try some Simichrome polish. This is what it is, this stuff. Simichrome. You can buy it on online. I usually stock some, so if you're in the area, I do try to stock some. And it's available on eBay. It's available elsewhere as well. Canadians, be aware, you may end up paying $15, $20, $30 a tube for this stuff, whereas US buyers can pick it up for about $7 US. So yeah, I have to charge about $22, I think it is, just because of how much it costs to get it here. So anyway, here we go. We're going to try to polish off some of this rust right there. A bit on the rag, a bit on the rust here, and polish a lot of this off. As you can see, it's disappearing already. So yeah, you can see you're going to have to watch it on the paint. You can see it's not taking the paint off yet, luckily. Just taking the rust off. You can see it's disappearing there. It won't take it all off because it is underneath the paint already, but it is taking off anything that's on the surface of the paint. So yeah, you can take off a lot of this stuff, luckily. You can see that. Give it a buff. Looks a lot better than it did. Okay, I'm going to refurbish this cloth and get back to it. Alright, so you're going to attack this really bad area and see if we can reduce some of that off. New batch of Simichrome on the cloth, and here we go. I suspect it's not going to come off real well because it is past the paint and has removed some of the paint, the rust that is. Oh, it looks like it's cleaning up some though. The more rust you can remove, you're removing that dark area so it doesn't look anywhere near as bad as it did. As you can see, it's gradually cleaned that off. You can see the rust on the cloth. So some of this corner stuff is going to be a little tougher because the fact of the matter is the paint's not even there anymore. So, but get as much of the rust off and it'll help it look a lot better. So there we go. So yeah, I've got quite a bit of rust off. Do a buff, see where we're at. So there, I've cleaned off quite a bit of it. It's not perfect, and get the rest of that haze from the polish. It's better than it was, that's for sure. So yeah, we'll attack this area now. Let's get the camera set up so you can see it slowly disappear. Okay. Sorry for getting the leg in there, guys, but anyway, a little bit on the cloth. Use a soft cloth as well, cotton preferably. Polyester and stuff doesn't really work that well, but soft cloth. And here we go. Being a little more liberal now because I know it's not taking the paint off, but you do have to keep it moving. Don't just let the polish sit there because then it will eat the paint through. So be careful of that. So my advice is if you're not familiar with it, you're still learning, do small areas. Don't do a large area like I'm doing. But as you can see, sorry for the sound in the background, that's the table moving. But you can see it's taken a lot of that rust right off. That actually cleaned up pretty good. So yeah, here we go. Much better. Much better. And that's just the reflection of the light. But yeah, much better. Look at that, it's almost gone. So, and that like I said, that was rust. That wasn't grease or anything. It was mainly rust. So, yeah, so that looked pretty good. Now, if there's any other areas that need polish, like this is actually paint missing, so that won't polish off, obviously. What I'm going to do is try to take this yellow paint and this white paint. I have a feeling it's oil paint, though, and that's going to be tough to remove. So we'll give it a shot here with the Simichrome just to see. I'm going to put some directly on it, which I don't always recommend. Like I said, it can cause some damage to the paint, but I just want to let it sit for a little bit on that white paint. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to move at all. No. Okay, that paint is probably permanent. You might be able to remove it with a knife blade, very careful knife blade, but I'm just going to leave it alone, I think. Oh, look at that. Softened it up. with the polish. Okay, look at that. So we got a little bit off. Well, I wonder if we can polish it off. No. Oh, it is going. Wow. Simichrome is doing it, doing the job. Yeah. Try some more Simichrome here. Some more on the rag. Yeah. Oh, it worked out. It is taking it off. All right. Made a liar out of me. I've got to watch the letters that I'm polishing over though here, because they may start to fade if I'm not careful. Get that excess polish out of there. There we go. She's pretty much gone. Okay, there's just a little bit of where the paint has come off. But other than that, it's gone. So yeah, okay, let's try the yellow. Let's do it over somewhere a little more obscure. Right there. Oop. Okay, let's settle down here. See if we can get rid of that yellow. Alright, let's try it on somewhere at least a little bit obscure. Right there, let's just try a little bit. Let the Simichrome sit for a little bit. Okay, cross your fingers, folks. I don't know. It's taking it off a little bit. You can see that little tiny yellow speck slowly starting to go. But I don't know. That one's going to take some work, I think. Quite a bit of work. You're probably getting seasick from the movement. But yeah, that one's going to take a bit of work, I think. Okay, I'm going to see if I can polish it off with a little more Simichrome, a little thicker batch of Simichrome. Okay, and this is a risk. Like I said, it may oxidize or it may hurt the paint. But it seems to be, the paint on this seems to be pretty robust. Like I said, I don't recommend it for all sorts of things. And I do recommend working on a small area first. This is even quite a bit. So be careful. Alright, let's go. It's slowly disappearing. Notice I'm using circular motions combined with straight. It seems to help. You can see it slowly disappearing. But yeah, oh man, that's a lot of work. It's hard on the hands. I'm not really pressing real hard, I'm just polishing. You don't want to press too hard. If you end up with a flake of paint or a bit of rust or a bit of dirt on your rag, then you start putting scratches in the paint. So it's best to use especially if you've been using the rag to polish rust, it's best to use lighter pressure. But it is going, just not going fast. Okay, tell you what, I'll work on it off of camera with the Simichrome and I'll show you the result. Okay, now this is when you hit the danger zone. You're starting to rub paint off. So basically I'm going to stop where I'm at, because if I rub through the paint into the metal, it's going to look even worse. So I think I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to just leave that paint for somebody else. They can polish it if they want. They can try to buff it out. It did reduce it quite a bit, as you can see, but I don't know if you can tell, I've gone through the paint. I don't know if you can see, but I've kind of gone through the clear coat. So yeah, the paint on top is tougher than the paint made to do the cabinet. So yeah, so that's going to be tough. I don't know. I'm not sure what'll remove that. We may be stuck with it. We can reduce it some, but not a whole heck of a lot, I think. So I'm going to leave that alone. I don't want to wreck it. There is a bit of white paint here, a little daub here that I think I'm going to try to remove with some Simichrome, soften it up maybe with Simichrome, and then see if I can flake it off. But you are risking taking some paint off with it, like happened with that little tiny piece. So yeah. Okay, what I'm going to do is give the whole thing, after I try this, is give the whole thing a quick polish with Simichrome just to buff it up. Alright, and yeah, and then I'll show you the final result. Alright, I've just done a corner from here to here of polishing, basically using motions like you're waxing a car, like that, and doing sections basically, and then once it's gone hazy, give it a polish and clean it off. So I'll do that with this little area here, so you can see kind of exactly how I do that. Not sure if you can tell in the with the camera or not whether there's a change. There is. It's visible, but not quite as visible on camera for some reason. I'm not sure why. Anyway, so here we go. Kind of up and down motions, like, or not up and down motions, round motions, but going up and down, kind of in a W shape, kind of a modified W shape. Let's see if we can get some of this. Nope. No such luck. I did clear off that piece of white on the H. It did clear off nicely. The Simichrome softened up the paint, and I was able to chip it off with my fingernail. So you can use the Simichrome to soften paint up. The white may have been a latex, which is possibly why it was done. You can see the dirt comes off better. So yeah. Anyway, here we go. Now, I'm not sure if you can see the change or not, although in the light you might be able to see a bit of a change. Not really, I suppose, but it did clean off a lot of extra dirt. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, it's getting there. So I'll finish it off and then show you the final result. So I did manage to take off that little glob of glue or whatever it was. The Simichrome softened it up. I had let the Simichrome sit for a little bit on it, a few minutes, and it softened it up a bit, so I was able to take it off with my fingernail, but unfortunately I used too much pressure and caught the paint with my fingernail, so I did flake a little bit of paint. It looks a lot better than just that glob, but it would have been nice if I didn't flake the paint. Oh well, can't win them all, but I'm going to continue polishing here. A lot of these little scuffs and such will disappear as well with the polish, so when you come across some of them, you can kind of concentrate on cleaning them off. But most of this, a lot of these little tiny flakes will come off. But anyway, all right, so this is the final result of the front. So the front's clean. I'm not going to bore you by cleaning the sides. I'll do that off camera and before I put it out for sale. But here it is. Yeah, pretty clean. Like I said, this stuff is probably permanent. Might come off with a bit of work, or lessen with a bit of work, but it does cause issues with the factory paint. So I also cleaned up the pole, the little knob here, with Simichrome. Gave it a polish because it is plastic, and Simichrome is perfect for polishing plastic. So it cleaned it up really nice as well. So yeah, that's it, folks. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and check out our other videos on antiquing, picking, thrifting, scrapping, etc., as well as a lot of other how-to and picker tips. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Take care.